Hey, good morning, everybody. Today's going to be a little quick conversation about funds and money and energy. And my question to you is this: whose permission do you need right now? Whose permission do you need to go out and make an extra 10%, to give yourself a raise? Whose permission do you need? That's a question I have for you right now. Think about it. Ask yourself this question: whose permission do you need? Let me make it a little bit more emotional for you. Whose permission do you need to take care of your family? See, I'm going to make it real emotional for you here real quick. We're going to dive in deep into this because I don't think you can wait anymore. I don't think you have the luxury of waiting. I don't think you have the wealth to wait. Let me say that again. Too many of you are saying you want more income. Too many of you are saying you need more income. Too many of you are trying to figure out the algorithm, the code, the secret, the thing to pass along. I can tell you, you already have it. Here's the code that you're not using. Here's the secret you're not using. Here's the algorithm you're not using, called permission. Whose permission do you need? And when you take ownership of whose permission you need, do you need your parents' permission to go make some money? Do you need your old girlfriend or boyfriend's permission to make money? Oh, maybe they told you you weren't worth it. Drop a W in the chat if you've ever had somebody told you you weren't worth it. Listen, I'll drop a W. I don't know where to find the W on all of the different keyboards, but I would drop a W. I was told I wasn't worth it. How many of you were told you weren't worth it by your parents? See, when you look at this stuff, when you really dive into it, it's not about the algorithms on social media that's keeping you poor, keeping you broke. It's you. It's you. It's your self-talk. I know that kind of sucks first thing in the morning on a Thursday, but my point is this: when you decide that your word is your bond, how many of you have said, my word's my bond? You can trust me. Listen, I had a young, brilliant powerhouse of a super stud of a woman just recently use that in a phrase, use that in a presentation. You can trust me. Listen, I'm going to tell you the truth. You can trust me. If you use those words, in any presentation, if you use those words in your dialogue, you can trust me. Listen, I'm going to tell you the truth. You got to ask yourself, if you're going to tell me the truth now, when will you lie to me next? What you're really saying is to yourself, I'm going to tell you the truth. Right now, I'm going to write down this goal that I'm going to make 10 grand a month, 7 grand a month, 100 grand a month. I'm telling you the truth. If you have to tell me the truth, that it's the truth, that you're not lying, then my guess is you're lying. This is psychology. This is human nature. So I'll ask you again, whose permission do you need to create the income you want? Whose permission do you need? And if it's yours, then why haven't you given it? It's not because you don't want to give it. The reason that you haven't given it is because you have a set of programming. You have a set of values. I know this is tough. Pay attention. You have a set of values that say, my wealth will embarrass someone. And listen, if you're struggling for income, if you're struggling for money, you have a story that says, you were told you can't be wealthy. And if you are wealthy, that's not us. That's not who we are. That's not who we believe we are. So you're going to have to make some serious changes. You're going to need a little bit of a rewire inside of that brilliant brain of yours that keeps you stuck. Hard work creates good money. How many of you rise and grind? Oh my gosh, that's the craziest thing I ever heard. Rise and grind. Do you realize that you may have slang, but the brain doesn't understand slang from 2 million years ago, from 500,000 years ago, from 250,000 years ago? It doesn't understand the slang that you're using it. It's just the cool thing. It's just the neat thing. And when you say rise and grind, do you realize your brain only has the definition of grind like a grinder? You may think it's cool. You may think it's slick, and that's awesome. It's hot. Listen, off rip. I think that's the term, right? Off rip. Let's off rip. I'm going to get serious with you. We're going to off rip right now. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but what the hell does that mean? Rip off a Band-Aid. Why can't you just say, let's get serious? Why do we have to use such language that allows us to get stuck, get limited, and be put into a box that You've got to be in the local colloquialism. Did he just use like a big word? Yeah, colloquialism. It just popped into my head. So if we're going to off-rip this thing and we're going to get serious, you have to decide, how much money do you want? How much money, how much effort are you going to put in for today? Today, I don't care about 10 years from now. I'm not caring about $100,000 a year income or $100,000 a month. Today, how much value are you going to provide? How much value are you going to provide today? Jim Rohn says you want to increase your pay, go provide more value. How much value are you going to provide? Are you going to go do a TikTok or put a picture up on Instagram that shows you looking off, gazing into the stars with a post that says you should be here, or wealth is created. Let me help you create wealth. Why don't you look into the camera? Why don't you get serious with people? Why don't you allow people to connect with you? Yeah, I'm getting a little soapboxy. Yes, I'm getting a little soapboxy because I'm not sure why you're not doing the things that you were put here for. Is this what you were put here for? That phrase, I wasn't put here to pay bills and be broke on the 30th of the month. Go provide value. Go ask. Mark Victor Hansen and Crystal Dwyer Hansen have a great book called Ask. Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Desire. Wallace D. Wattles, Science of Getting Rich. The three chapters that you should read every day out of the Science of Getting Rich, 7, 4, and 14. First one is, what's the biggest chapter in the book about the science of getting rich? It's about gratitude. So I'll leave you with this. When you decide that you've had enough, that you've been frustrated enough, you've been aggravated enough, you've been pissed off enough, you've been taken advantage of, you've just had enough, your relationships, they seem to go in this roller coaster ride, your money seems to go in this roller coaster ride. When you're ready to understand that this addiction to approval that you have is wired in, it's wired in so deep. How many of you know addicts who say, I can handle it. I can handle my alcohol. I can handle my drugs. I can handle my porn. I can handle my this. They say they can handle it. Drop an H in the chat if you know somebody who's an addict and they say they can handle it and you think they're as crazy as a run over squirrel. That's you. That's you. If you're dealing with frustration and aggravation and you wind up with more month than money, you are addicted to the approval of others. I'm telling you, it is so absolutely wired into you, you can't see it. You can't. You just can't. And you can get mad at me. You can argue with me. You can listen. Jim Rohn says that's a clue. What does every addict do when you tell them they're an addict? I'm not an addict. I'm telling you, you're addicted to the approval of others. No, I'm not. If it holds true with alcohol or drugs or heroin or cocaine, when they say, I'm not addicted, I can handle it. I could stop anytime I want. I could stop. I'm not even addicted to the approval of others. I got to tell you, you're not right. Not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying you're not right. So how do you change it? You need to do a rewire. You need to have a conversation. You need to understand what it is that you're addicted to. I can promise you, there's phrases that you would hear right now. There's phrases that you would hear from your mom or your dad, or your aunt or your uncle, and they'll put a knot in your stomach. Drop a K in the chat if you've got a knot in your stomach right now. That's called neuroencoding. You're having thoughts that, listen, I'm not in your room. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just pointing out some facts. I'm just pointing out some facts. What I hear them say, spitting some bars. What the hell does that mean? Somebody tell me what that means, spitting bars. I don't know what that means. Join me in a challenge next week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Join me in a challenge next week. 2 hours a day. Let me walk you through some addiction to approval, unwiring techniques that will allow you to turn the rest of the year into the best year ever. Just 6 hours. Give me 3 days. Give me 3 days. Let me help you unlock, unwire. It's not next week. It's the following week. So 2 weeks from now, the 21st. 19th, 20th, and 21st. Give me 3 days. If anything that I said to you this morning, if you're watching this recording, if anything I said kind of hit you a little sideways, made you a little uncomfortable, it's the addiction to approval. We'll have some conversations, and I'll help you unlock and show you techniques and give you actual hard hitting action steps and strategies to help you undo that. I'm a certified self-talk instructor. I'm the Self-Talk Institute faculty member, neuroencoding trained specialist, brain training specialist, mental toughness specialist, addiction to approval specialist, certified and trained in all of these areas, and hypnotherapy. We'll do a little hypnotherapy as well. Write down 5 things you're grateful for this morning about the amount of money you currently have. Don't tell me how bad it is. Don't tell me about your nightmares. Tell me about your dreams. Tell me how grateful you are in this moment right now for the 5 things that you love about the amount of money that you currently have. And if you're bold enough, if you're crazy enough, if you're wild enough, go write down 10 things. I'll see you here tomorrow. I'm your head brain training, addiction to approval, rewiring misfit, Sean Murphy. I'll see you where? I'll see you at the next event. Till then, bye for now. And YouTube, I appreciate y'all. I love you bunches. I hope you have an amazing day. Reach out to me. Go to SeanGMurphy.com, get on the email list, and you'll get information about the training program, the challenge coming up in